What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Lambo Plays podcast. This is episode number 27, UFC Vegas 57. It's a great card. Sarukian versus Gamrot. As a main event, unbelievable, guys. It's a great main event. The Lambo Plays show has been absolute fire the last couple of weeks. We've been hitting on all cylinders, hitting big money plays. And we're back again. My co-host this week is out. He's in, I forgot where he is. I think Colorado or somewhere, but he's in a tennis tournament. He's coaching. So he's doing this thing. He's going to be out. But we do have a guest here today. But before we get to the guest, let me get to the people in chat. Like always, it is Mushroom. And we have Uncle Weezy. Let's stack those tickets like flapjacks. Yes, sir. We're going to do that this week again. Daz is in the house. Luke Golding, what's up? Thank you for that. The favorite show of the week. I appreciate that very much, Luke. Hopefully we come through again this week. Last week we hit big plus money plays on Holland submission. We also had the split decision prop on the main event where we hit a plus 1,800 ticket. So it was a golden week, but without further ado, let me go to chat a little more. Yeah, what's up, Wells? How you doing? George in the house, Narrative Nation, and so is Frank. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Without further ado, let me go over to my guest and bring him on in. It's none other than Dagestani Poppy. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Are you ready for this UFC Fight Night card?
What's up, Narco? Glad I could step in here on short notice. It's a great slate of fights, and yeah, I'm excited to get to it. I think we got some winning tickets.
Yeah, man, it's actually a really good Fight Night card again. I mean, this is 2 weeks in a row that they've come through with these Fight Night cards. Usually they're pretty shitty, but man, this main event is an absolute banger. And then we have some other good fights on the card. But with that being said, let's start off here with the fight number one. It's Jinh Fray versus Vanessa Demopolis. I am not going to do this to you, so I'm not going to let you go first in this type of fight. I will take it. For me here, basically, you know, I see this fight where if it's standing, I think Demopolis is a little in trouble. She's going to get clipped on the feet. She's not a very good striker at all. I do favor Jinh Fray in the striking department. However, once this gets to the ground, if it is to get to the ground, I do favor Vanessa Demopolis's submission grappling there. And I do think Jinh Fray makes some mistakes on the ground. So with that being said, you know, Demopolis submission was plus 800. Now it's plus 600. I still think that there's some value there because I do think, you know, Demopolis is feisty. She comes forward. She's tough. She's hard to get out of there. And she's going to keep coming, man. And I think, you know, Jinh Fray is a little bit too small for the division. I think she's an atom weight and she's fighting at 115. So if this fight hits the ground, I wouldn't be surprised if Demopolis hit a submission. And Demopolis submission is plus 600. I will give you that as my Lambo play, but I will not touch low-level women's MMA from a money line perspective. So, Dagestani, what do you have here for your Lambo play?
Yeah, I liked your breakdown there a lot. I think that there's a couple numbers here that are throwing the whole market out of whack. They've got Jinh Fray inside the distance at plus 250, which there's just no way you can justify that any way you cut it. So to take advantage of that, I actually played, not my Lambo play, but I played the Vanessa Demopolis scorecards no action at plus 190. And I think that she should be the favorite there outright. It's still at plus 120. I think that's very playable. But yeah, I went with Vanessa Demopolis inside the distance at plus 500 for my Lambo play. She's got all the finishing upside. So if this over 2.5 at minus 225 over is accurate, then there's definitely value on these Vanessa Demopolis props.
Yeah, I mean, very good point. Like plus 190 finish only Demopolis. Why? Like the finishing upside is on that side. Like I could see like maybe Jinh Fray landing something big, but she's not finishing Demopolis. Like Demopolis, super, super tough, man. The girl is tough.
The last time that Jinh Fray finished somebody was back in, I believe, 2014 on the regional against some tomato cans.
Yeah, but she did hurt Ashley Yoder pretty bad last fight. And Demopolis is kind of like a punching bag on the feet. So I could see her landing. She throws with power. It's just I don't think she's an atom weight, man. She's not a 115 pounder. So yeah, I think Demopolis is kind of live, finishing ITD or submission. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not touching the fight though. I am out of the low-level women's MMA. Moving on, second fight of the night. It is Mario Batista versus Brian Boom Kelleher. You can kick this one off, Dagestani. What do you have here for your Lambo play?
Yeah, I'll cut straight to the Lambo play on this one. I like Mario Batista to get it done in round 2. I think it's sitting at plus 750, if I recall. I think that he's the bigger man. He's the more explosive guy. I like his boxing. He's going to go forward. I think he's got a big durability edge here, even though we saw him get dropped by Trevin Jones that one time. Outside of that, he's looked very durable. It seems like a setup spot ultimately to let him look good. And the cherry on top for me was I saw on DraftKings, they were boosting the rounds 1 and 3 knockout for him. So naturally, I already liked round 2. So that solidified it.
All right. So he's going with the boost narrative here and going with Batista round 2. For me, you know what? I think this fight kind of plays close, to be honest. Mario Batista, 11 fights as a pro, has looked good in some fights, has looked bad in some fights. For instance, Trevin Jones fight, yeah, he got caught. But even against late notice Jay Perrin, he didn't look spectacular in that fight. Like Jay Perrin was pushing a pace, even though he was on short notice. He kind of was coming on late in the third before Batista lands a takedown. And with Kelleher, like the one thing the guy is he's a veteran, right? He's got 37 pro fights. He's fought, pretty much, a lot of good fighters. We're talking Umar, we're talking, Ricky Simone, we're talking, Montel Jackson, Marlon Vera. This guy's fought them all, so I don't think there's anything that Mario Batista is going to give him that he hasn't seen. So I think this fight stays close. I think Brian Kelleher is extremely dangerous with the guillotine. I also think Brian Kelleher has that weird left to right style where he throws those looping punches and they come from different angles. So for me here, I think this fight ends in split decision. I think it's going to be close, and it's plus 550 either way. So you can get this fight ends in split decision plus 550. That's how I'm going to go with it as my Lambo play. I also do think this fight goes over. So I have a track play on the over 2.5 here on this fight. Moving on, it is fight number 3. It is Cody Durden versus JP Buys. I will kick this one off. By submission, man. Plus 390. I don't like the guy. Let's put this out there. I don't like how this guy fights. He seems like he's gassy. He's overly aggressive at times where he loses position and stuff like that. But the one thing you can get from this guy is he's gonna go for it. He's gonna hunt for submissions, and Cody Durden, I know he has good wrestling, but he's been subbed many times, man. 3 out of his 4 losses are submissions. The one thing JP Buys does well is submissions, and to get plus 390, I got plus 400 a little earlier, but I still like the look, honestly. I think I will never play JP Buys by money line at this price because I just don't trust the guy. But if you're giving me plus 400 on a prop that this guy actually, goes balls to the walls for, I'm going to play it at plus 400. So I think plus 90 is a decent look. Buys by submission. What do you have here, Dagestani?
Yeah, so when it comes to the money line, I don't really have a strong enough read to get involved here. I think in a lot of ways, these guys are clones of one another. They're going to come out, they're going to try to grapple offensively. It's tough to tell if a state championship level of wrestling in Georgia better than being a standout in South Africa? I don't really know. I think that JP Buys is probably the better submission grappler, and he's going to get plenty of opportunities to get subs here. I think that Durden sticks his head into bad situations for guillotines, and I mean, you're going to get just plenty of long, extended grappling exchanges. So yeah, if you're going to play a Lambo here, I think you hit it right on the head. Buys sub is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't even mind Buys sub 1 when they're nice and dry and where he's strong. You know, that's where he's strongest, right? Round 1. So I think it's like plus 900. It's not a terrible look, but I rather play just the submission prop because, you know, it could happen later on. So yeah, we're on the same side there. I like it. Let's move on. Fight number 4. It is Highland Paiva versus Sergey Morozov. You can kick this one off, Dagestani.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of a stronger take here. I got involved on the Morozov money line. I think I got minus 130, and I feel pretty good about that spot. I think that he's going to mix up the grappling and the striking. I think he'll land a few takedowns. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold down Paiva, but I think that it's going to be enough to get Paiva thinking about the takedowns, and he's going to be able to land his hands. I think the pricing on the KO is a bit out of whack. The Morozov TKO KO plus 400. He's got 8 of his 17 victories by knockout, and he nearly finished Andrade in his last fight. And they're pricing it at 33% of his win equity. I think that's just out of whack. So Morozov TKO KO plus 400 for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'm on the Morozov side. I have, I believe I have 3 units at minus 140. I really like him this week. You know, I think it's a buy low spot, to be honest. This guy is very skilled everywhere, man. Like, he's very skilled grappler, very skilled on the feet, good kicking game. I just like everything about his game, you know. Yeah, he got finished last fight against Andrade, but, you know, he had Andrade almost out of there, and I think he kind of gassed going for the kill is what happened there, and you know, he lost the fight. I mean, you know, he took a short notice fight against Umar, and he wasn't washed by any means in that fight, you know, up until Umar subbed him. But you know, Morozov is a good fighter, and the thing with Paiva is, though, I want to say he does a lot of attritional work. He's very tough. He's very durable. You know, he keeps coming, even though he got knocked out by one punch by Sean O'Malley, you know, over the history of his fighting career. This guy is very durable. Kyler Phillips had this guy hurt very bad, and he came back and actually, you know, won that fight. You know, in the Zalgas fight was, you know, I think he was hurt in the first round. He came back, won that fight. The thing with this guy is he just fights super, super close. Whether he wins, whether he loses, the fight is always close with this guy. So with that being said, you know, again, split decision prop here is plus 500 either way. Fight ends in split. I don't mind that at all. Look at Paiva's history. Like, one majority decision, split decision, split decision, split decision, and probably a bunch of other ones, you know, earlier on. That this is just, you know, 4 in the last, you know, 12 fights. That's 33% of his fights have ended in split decision. And now you're getting plus 500. I don't mind it at all. I think this fight might play close. And, you know, you're getting plus 500 again. But I do like the Morozov side. Ultimately, I think Morozov wins here. He can mix in those takedowns, which will ultimately probably give him the W here. Moving on, it is fight number 5. It is TJ Brown versus Shailan Nurdone. Back off. I will kick this one off. I actually have a bet on Shailan at plus 175. I think he can implement some wrestling here. I think he's the stronger guy here. And the other thing I fade here is the fact that TJ Brown at 145, I think he's gassy. I think he's, you know, not as durable, not as strong at 145. I think maybe the weight cut is a little too much for him. But with that being said, Nurdone Bekov decision is plus 380. The guy is just not a finisher to me. Like, I don't think he's finishing TJ Brown. However, I do think he can land takedowns. I do think he can maybe get some top time here. And decision prop here, like I said, it's plus 380. That's how I'm going. I'm going to go with Shailan by decision plus 380. Dagestani, what do you have here?
So I think this fight's pretty tough to read. A lot of these, this Chinese guy got a lot of fights added to his record very recently, a little bit like Askar Mazarov, but in inverse version, where they're giving him wins. I think that Brown's submission at plus 325 is borderline value. There's going to be lots of grappling exchanges initiated by both of them. I think that Shah, I'll call him Shah for ease. I think Shah is a bit gassy, and I don't think that I'm not convinced that he can grapple with Brown. Brown is training with Bryce Mitchell for all his training camps. That's one of the best grapplers in the division. At plus 325, it's like I said, I probably won't end up putting my money on it, but if I'm picking one Lambo play, it's Brown by sub.
But I just have a quick rebuttal before we move on. Don't you think like Chavez getting 4 takedowns on this guy? Like Shailan is a way better wrestler than Chavez is. Chavez got 4 takedowns on TJ Brown. I think that's like a bad look there for me.
Was it after he had killed his calf, though?
Yeah, I don't know if it was after or before. That I can't tell you. I'm not going to say I know, but I mean, getting 4 takedowns from Chavez is kind of a bad look. And to be honest, this Shailan, I don't know what he's on because he looks jacked as hell. He's pretty strong. I think he might be able to land a takedown or 2 here. But yeah, I do agree with a lot of your takes. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of grappling. And to be honest, on the feet, like Shailan just doesn't even throw. So I favor TJ Brown on the feet there. George says that Shai record is suspect. Yeah, I mean, it's suspect. But listen, he showed it was a good look against Josh Kulabau, even though he lost. Like Kulabau now, like after that loss, the loss looks even better after what Kulabau did last fight, right? So I don't think it's suspect early, but he's shown pretty good the last couple of fights, to be honest. Moving on, it's fight number 6. It's Tefan and Jackawoo versus Carlos Olberg. Kick this one off, Dagestan. Yeah,
so I'm a little jealous of the people who pulled the trigger on Nchukwi at plus money earlier in the week. I think that's the side. He's got all the grappling upside you would want. He's going to be pushing the action forward. I'm not convinced that Olberg is UFC level after 5 pro fights, something in that nature. From a money line perspective, I don't want to get involved. I can't trust either one of these guys with my money. They're both fades in my eyes. But I like Nchukwi by split decision at 11-1. I think he's going to be pushing the action forward. I think that there's a good chance that it's not as much of a banger as people are hoping for, in the sense that Olberg tries to play the outside game, play angles, but he ends up getting cage pushed and kneed in the thigh for 15 minutes. And, it's the damage versus control game. So at 11-1, I think the split is good.
Yeah, I like that look. I like your breakdown. I think it's very accurate. I think Tefan can mix in takedowns here. I think Tefan can cage push, like you said, just one underhook, hold him on the cage, pepper him with some punches there and maybe shoot for the takedown. And Jackawoo, like Tefan is, to me, like at the UFC level, doesn't seem like much of a finisher. Like the guy didn't finish Mike Rodriguez, even though Jamie Pickett is pretty durable. Like he couldn't finish Jamie Pickett, and we know Pickett is an 85er most likely. This guy's not a 205er, and I know they fought at 85 in that fight, but I just don't think Tefan's much of a finisher. And Tefan by decision is plus 380. I like that look too. Tefan, I got in early. You said whoever got in early, it was a good look. Yeah, I got in early on Tefan. Not very early, but I got him at plus money, plus 108. I have 2 units on him. It's just a fade of Olberg, dude. Like, I don't think Olberg is very good. I think he was very hesitant in the Fabio Charant fight after what happened to him in the first fight. I think, in a smaller cage here, I think that favors Tafon also for his grappling aspect. So with that, I just favor the Tafon side. The one thing that I will say with Tafon is defensively, he tends to get hit too much on the feet. And that's my only concern because Olberg does have pretty good striking. It's just that I think after that, that first loss of his, he's become very hesitant. And I think he might be hesitant again here. So, yeah, I like the Tafon side. I like Tafon by decision. It's plus 390. I think that's a very good look there. Moving on, fight number 7. It is Chris Curtis versus Rodolfo Vieira here. Again, I have a bet here on Rodolfo Vieira at plus 110 for a unit and a half. I think that's not a bad look there. But for my Lambo play, I have to go with Chris Curtis round 3, man. It's plus 1,200. If this fight somehow gets to the third, I think he's going to be the fresher guy. I think he's going to have a lot more power in the third. And, even though Vieira showed something last fight, like he was still clearly gassed in the third round. And he was able to take Stoltzfus back and get a choke. But Stoltzfus is just not dangerous on the feet, dude. Chris Curtis is very dangerous on the feet, even in the third round. So that third round prop plus 1,200, I like that. If it gets there, I like that look there. Papi, what do you have here?
Yeah, so from time to time, I like to take these super contrarian overs, and this is one of those spots. I actually bet the goes to decision at plus 475, sitting at plus 450. I bet online right now. I still think that's good. I think there's a solid chance that Vieira is still scarred from that Fluffy Hernandez fight, and he's going to sit there and try to be K1 Rodolfo and work his jab and just play it safe, mix in takedowns here and there, which in that case, Chris Curtis's finishing ability is a bit overblown at this point in his career, coming off of a couple hot finishes. Historically, if you look throughout his career, he's not the most potent finisher in the world, finishing, close to a 50% clip. So, yeah, I think that's a bit off. I think anytime you can get plus 450 on a middleweight fight to go to decision, it's probably plus EV long term. So I took a little stab there, and I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you, but again, on the other hand, like I see this fight ending, to be honest. So I can't endorse the play, but I mean, at that price, can you be wrong? I mean, you could be wrong a lot of times and still be right, if you know what I'm talking about. So it's okay. I mean, you're getting a big plus money tag. Mushroom is asking, any concern about Tafon coming back too early from that KO 3 months ago? Not really. I mean, yeah, he got KO'd there, but he didn't really take a beating in that fight. Like, I don't think it's much of a concern for me. I don't know. Papi, you think it's a concern for him here?
I'm not super concerned about that. That was somewhat of a fluky KO, and I think those things tend to get overblown in the market. One thing I am a bit concerned about, though, is Rodolfo Vieira talking about his brain being fuzzy and checking into a hospital. And I don't know all the details about that, but it sketched me out enough that I didn't pull the trigger on the plus money, even with all that grappling upside there on the front end.
So I looked into that and I saw the Instagram post from him and it got translated and whatever. I think they did a scan on his head and doctor said it's completely fine. So, I mean, if the doctors are clearing you, you have to think that there's nothing wrong up there. He could have had vertigo. Who knows what he had? And he thought, because a lot of times, with your mind, like you can panic yourself to thinking, oh shit, something's going on. And it just becomes worse, So, yeah. Jack says Vieira sub early, Curtis KO late. Kind of agree with you. I think that's in play. But I also think Curtis KO early is possible. Like he can bonk him because Vieira is, he has a decent jab, but he's still there to be hit. Like, let's be honest. Prince of Mischief says Olberg's pillow fist ain't gonna KO. I don't know if he has pillow fist, dude. Like, come on. The guy can crack. Come on, he can crack. But I think he's hesitant. That's the thing. Moving on, it's fight number 8. It's Umar Nurmagomedov versus Nate Maness. Kick this one off, Poppy.
Well, I wouldn't be called Dagestan Poppy if I was betting against the likes of Umar Nurmagomedov. And I took Umar Nurmagomedov round 1 submission at plus 300. I think that he's going to take him down, take his back, and choke him out. Real simple, Nurmagomedov style. Maness has gotten taken down and given up his back to lesser grapplers. And I think Umar is just on a tear right now. And I don't think Nate is the guy to fade him with.
Yeah, I mean, I think the submission is coming. I just think it's one round later. I have Umar round 2 submission. It's plus 700. I think that's when it really comes. When the reason why I say this is because when Maness is fresh, he's pretty strong. He's a big guy. I know Johnny Munoz had him in big trouble in that fight. But he couldn't finish him. And Johnny Munoz on top like that is a very, very dangerous grappler himself. And he came close to finishing him, but it was with strikes. I think, Nurmagomedov is going to take his time. And even in a lot of his fights, like he does take his time, right? He's using that kicking game. He's trying to measure you. And when you least think about the takedown is when he shoots for the takedown. So the guy is very skilled. I like what I see from this guy. I think he wins pretty handily here. But I think it comes in round 2. And Umar's submission round 2 is plus 700. That's where I'm going. That's where Mushroom is going. George says, bet Nate plus 1,000 on my offshore book. Listen, I'm going to say something. Like, I'm never going to say anything about betting a plus 1,000 in MMA. Like, God bless you. Like, you can't be wrong betting him at plus 1,000. I mean, you never know. It's MMA. Nate Maness has power in his hands. You never know what could happen. So I'm not gonna fault you for that. Narco, with Olberg being a male model, I don't have it in me to praise his power. Okay. I see why you don't want to praise his power, because he's a model. Hey, whatever floats the guy's boat, right? We can't hate on the guy. Moving on, fight number 9 is Thiago Moises versus Christos Chiagos. Kick this one off, Poppy.
So I think Moises TKO KO at plus 450 has a bit of value. I think that if you break down his win equity, it's definitely more than 20% in my eyes. So I think there's a fair little chunk of value. I think that Chiagos is real hittable on the feet. He's going to be competitive in round 1, pushing the grappling potentially. But outside of that, I think he gasses. And I think that Moises has a lot to prove in this spot. He's come off some really tough competition. And, he's gotten beat up real bad, but he's still a young guy. He's the younger guy in this spot. And I think he's got a lot to fight for. And I'd be shocked if he doesn't hurt Chiagos at some point.
Yeah. I mean, accurate takes there. I'll give a hot take here. I think that Chiagos is going to get his calf taken off of him in this fight. He does not check kicks at all. Moises has a nasty, nasty kick. And if he is like locked in to actually use the calf kick here, I think he's going to chop that leg off. And Chiagos is going to be in trouble late in this fight. I like the round 3 prop. For all the things you said too, like he's gassy, right? Moises has good cardio for the most part. I think the calf kicks are going to work here. I think they're going to slow him down even more. He's not going to be able to put a lot of pressure on that lead leg. And I think, come round 3, Moises is going to be very live to finish this fight. And it's plus 1,100. I don't mind that look at all. I think, he's going to be the fresher fighter. He's probably going to be the fighter that has his legs underneath him. So give me Moises round 3 here, plus 1,100. However, I'm not touching the money line. Moises just fights too close for my liking, to be honest, and I'm not touching it. Moving on, it's fight number 10. It is the fight of the night, Josh Parisian versus Alan Badeau. This is the low-level heavyweights that are similar to women's MMA for me. Here, I'm going to, again, go to the round 3 prop, man. It's Parisian round 3 plus 1,400. I think he has the better cardio here. Like, Alan Badeau has shown pretty good cardio the last 2 fights. But if you remember, late in that Parker Porter fight, he was fully mounted. He was in deep trouble, but there was just not enough time in that fight. The difference between, I think, Parisian and Porter's, I actually think Parisian has better cardio than Parker Porter. And extremely durable, extremely tough guy is Parisian. It's hard to finish this guy on the feet. Like, you actually have to, starch him really bad. And I don't think Badeau has it in him to starch this guy really bad. I think Parisian is very live in round 3. It's plus 1,400. I even took a stab at submission round 3. It's like astronomical. It's like plus 4,600. If Parisian decides to grapple in round 3, I think that's very live, man. And it's plus 4,600. So I'm going right back to that round 3 well, and trying to get that sub when I couldn't get it with Parker Porter. So I'm doing it again with Parisian, even though I'm not fucking touching this fight from a money line perspective. Papi, what do you have here?
Yeah, so I actually have one of my favorite Lambo plays of the night on this fight, which is fitting because it's the best fight in the card. We can all agree on that. Badeau Parisian to end in a draw at plus 6,600. I think there's multiple ways that this could go down. I could see Alain Badeau landing one of his big upward elbows or spinning attacks in the first round, getting a 10-8, and then completely falling off a cliff in the second and third round to lose it. I could also see him somehow winning the first 2 rounds and then gassing out horribly in a shell, getting 10-8'd in the third round in mount. And both scenarios would cash us a draw ticket, which would only feel fitting on an Alain Badeau fight.
Hey, you just sold me on a draw ticket. I'm going to go put in a little bet on that. I have to. It makes sense. It makes sense in this fight. I can see a 10-8 third round for Parisian where he lost the first 2, in stand-up, just eating punches with his face, So it's very possible. And I'm gonna take a shot with you on the draw, actually. You got Lou Betcha very, very excited here when you said draw. Like, he likes but he wants yam bag shots. That's where he really likes the draw. He thinks the point's gonna be deducted off a yam bag shot, which, hey, you never know. It's low level heavyweight, men's heavyweight. So anything can freaking happen in those fights. Moving on, it's fight number 11. It is Neil Magni versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Kick this one off, D'Agostini.
Yeah, I think Shavkat Rakhmonov is the goods. And I think that they're putting him in here in another spot where he's going to have a spectacular and probably brutal finish. I think in this case, it's going to be ground and pound. And I actually think it's going to happen fast. I think round 1 KO at plus 400. He just steamrolls through Neil Magni, cuts through him like a hot knife through butter.
All right. I agree with you. I think Rakhmonov is the goods. I think, as much as people say, oh, why is this line, minus 400? Why is this line? I honestly think it's justified. Everybody was stating how much, Rakhmonov is going to face a guy that's bigger than him for the first time. Well, did you guys see face-offs? He is not bigger than him, man. They're looking eye to eye. I mean, he's not bigger than him at all. Rakhmonov is every bit as big as Magni is. The other thing, Magni's sloppy on the feet, man. He's there to be hit, and Rakhmonov is a sniper on the feet, man. He's gonna wait to counter him because, like I said, Magni's very, very sloppy on the feet. He throws these weird punches from different angles, and he's just gonna wait to catch him, and I think he's gonna catch him. But I think it's a club and sub, man. I think he drops him and then maybe drops a little punches, but while he's discombobulated, he lands that submission, and the submission prop is plus 420 on Shavkat. That's the look that I'm going with. I think Shavkat subs this guy at plus 420, but I also do see, a round 1 KO where he just absolutely annihilates him. And then his ground and pound is so damn accurate too. Like, when he gets you down there, every punch is landing, and they're landing hard. So yeah, I could see that. And Shafkat is an absolute animal and a beast, man. Moving on, it is the main event of the night, and it's a banger of a main event. But before I go on to the main event, I want to thank every one of you that is here in chat. There's 25 of you hanging out. Thank you very, very much. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe to my channel. Please leave comments. That helps with the algorithm and whatever algorithm that YouTube does. I'm at 608 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 1K. I somehow have 2,800 followers on YouTube, but only 600 subscribers on, 2,800 followers on Twitter, but only 600 YouTube subscribers. What are those people doing? They're just tailing my plays on Twitter and not subscribing to my channel. Where's the love? Yeah, I mean, you are very welcome, Mushroom. You are a loyal follower and a YouTube. You're always in my YouTube channel, so thank you very much. But with that being said, we will move on to the main event. It is Arman Tsarukyan versus Mateusz Gamrot. I'm going right back to the split decision well here, man. I think this fight is going to play closer than what people think. Tsarukyan is top tier. I love everything the guy does. Guy is just an absolute unit. But like Mateusz Gamrot is also up there, man. I really think this guy is high level. I really think this guy has great grappling, very good striking. I mean, just a very, very good all-around game. Very good gas tank. That, like, you look at this guy, he's been 5 rounds like 3 or 4 different times. Like, this guy knows what it takes to go 5 rounds. Arman Tsarukyan has never been 5 rounds, I believe. And this is going to be the first time he might actually see the 4th and 5th round. And I think this fight is going to play close, man. And Gamrot split decision is plus 1,600. I went with Emmett's split decision last week and hit the plus 1,800. I'm going right back to the well here. I think this fight goes over. I have a big bet on the over 2.5, a very big bet at minus 175. I don't see any one of these guys finishing each other. I think this fight goes to the decision. So I'm going to go with Gamrot split plus 1,600. I wouldn't mind if you're playing Tsarukyan split at plus 700. Boppy, what do you have here?
Yeah, so I actually think this fight is going to be a lot more competitive than the odds are letting on. I think that if this fight ends up playing out at range, which we see oftentimes when you get 2 elite grapplers together, they end up striking for 5 rounds, which in that case, there's no way that Arman's going to cover minus 3XX. So I'll be involved on the Gamrot money line. And I think you hit it right on the head. I like the Gamrot split decision prop. I think that it's going to likely hit the scorecards. Who knows what Chris Lee or Junichiro Kamijo or Sal D'Amato is going to see, these people who haunt my dreams every single week. But I'm going to be on the right side of it. I can feel it this time. Plus 1,600, is that right? On Gamrot split decision. I think it's value.
Yeah, I mean, these, and that's another reason why, you hear me like 1, 2, I got 3 split decisions here as my Lambo plays. And partly it's the judges, man. These judges are like all over the damn place every damn week. It's like without failure. Every week for the last, I want to go back, but I think every week for the last, I don't know how many weeks, we always have split decisions. And it's like, if you think a fight is going to decision and you think it's actually competitive, why not play split decision? Like, do you guys think Gamrot against Tsarukyan is competitive? If you say yes, and I feel like this fight is going over, why not play split decision here? Like, it's a no-brainer. It really is. And yeah, I mean, I like the look. We're on the same plate here. I'm going to have to go with Gamrot here. I think Gamrot, is going to keep this close, man, to be honest. And George is on the same play. I like it. Oh, you got a better line, plus 1,900. I like it. Those Chinese books in China are giving George a better price here. Thank you, Joel, for following both my YouTube and my Twitter. I appreciate it. Thank you, Dumpy. I wish I was the GOAT. I'm not the GOAT. I'm far from the GOAT, but I do the best I can for you guys, and that's the thing. Thank you, Mushroom. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you, Zach. Also, you are awesome. Thank you, my brother. And the ghost of Timothy says, bet the split. Yes, Timothy loves splits, so we know that. But before we move on to giving Dagestan Poppy the floor, I have to give you guys my Lambo parlay because Mushroom would not leave without me giving you this play. So my Lambo parlay this week is, and I feel good about this one. I'm letting you guys know right now. I feel really good about this one. It is the by submission, Tafan decision, and Rakhmonov submission. It is 121-1. Guys, the way I've been running lately, this might hit. I'm telling you guys, I have been on absolute fire. So I really like it. It's 121-1. I think that thing has a decent chance to hit. Do you have a Dagestan Poppy? I didn't ask you to do one, but do you have one by any chance?
Yeah, I got you. I don't know exactly what it adds up to, but I will say
I'll here. Let me get to the. I'll add it up for you. So while you're saying it, I'll put it in. Just give me the pricing. Go ahead.
All right. Umar round 1 sub plus 300.
Okay.
Buys submission plus 300, and Demopolis inside the distance plus 500.
And that one will pay 116-1. So it's almost right there with mine. I'm going to give that one a play too. I don't mind it at all. Demopolis, ITD, Umar. Was Umar round 1 submission, right? Umar round 1 sub. And the last one was, it was the by submission, correct? Yep. By submission. And you get 116-1. So not bad at all. Let's try to hit these babies. It would be golden. Imagine if we hit both of these. That would really be something else. But with that being said, guys, let me leave the floor to Dagestan Poppy. Tell them where they can find you. I know they can find you on Twitter. And if you do anything else, please, the floor is yours. And thank you for the last second replacement here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime. You know, I'm always happy to hop on the Lambo show. Again, yeah, like you said, I'm at Dagestan Poppy on Twitter. Follow me. I'm in Twitter spaces, trolling around all the time. I love to talk fights. My DMs are always open. So let's make some money together.
Awesome. Dagestan Poppy, thank you again. Guys, very sharp guy. Give him a follow on Twitter. Get in his DMs if you have any questions. He even plays regional, low-level fight cards. So, hey, get in those DMs. See what he's playing. Maybe he throws you a bone. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But I think he's a nice enough guy that he might throw you that bone. So, thank you, everybody, again, for joining us here on a Friday night. Hopefully tomorrow you have a wonderful day. You cash all your tickets. I did put up my Aries FC card and my Cage Warriors card. I think I went 5 or 6-0 today on Bellator and PFL with 1 remaining. So it's been a great start to the week, and let's cash those tickets, gentlemen.